Steam will always win, and there are some very obvious reasons as to why they'll always win. Recently, you had the former VP of Amazon, Ethan Evans. He went on Twitter, and I think he did an interview about him competing with Steam using Amazon to get into the online game store market, and just how no matter what they tried to do with their assumptions that it would work, it would just completely fail. And I think that shows a complete misunderstanding of why Steam works, which is silly because anybody who uses the products, I think, could easily tell you what makes Steam so attractive compared to these other stores. Now, he had a very fair assumption in that because of the market share that Amazon has, they've got to be able to invest a bit into that realm and take some of the piece of the pie that Steam has without realizing that they're very two separate things. When I buy things on Amazon, I'm getting a one-off physical product, not a long-term investment. If Amazon disappeared tomorrow, I don't care. I don't need it for anything than the items that I need immediately, and I'm only there because it's convenient right now at the time. Where I almost view Steam as a library in itself to hold all the things that I own for video games. And when you're thinking about something like that, I want something more long term. It's asking for a lot of money. So I'm going to end up thinking more long term in order to be able to get access to all these games that I'm buying. If I don't have a physical thing to represent what I own anymore, I'm going to go with the company that makes the most sense for longevity, at least for the rest of my life. What happens after that doesn't really matter to me. Valve is able to commit a lot of long-term decisions that make the success seem easier than it looks on the surface. There's a very clear, obvious thing that Valve doesn't have to deal with being a private company, is that they are only beholden to other consumers. At no point in their decision making do they need to think about people investing in their platform. So that means 100% of their brain power is committed to consumer things, making it right for consumers, making it good for consumers. Users matter more than anything else. And then with that power, they look at everyone else, all the publishers, all the people that want to make money on Steam. They go, hey, this is what our users want. You either play ball or you get nothing. Because there is a problem with anything related to a public traded company. It's that graph need go up. If graph not go up, we dead. End result, graph need go up. Graph can't even be like kind of down like this. Graph need to go straight up like a line like that. And if it's not like that, it dead. No product, be gone. Not enough graph up, graph down, graph go away. And you get yourself into stupid positions doing that. So then what ends up happening when graph need go up is that they start doing short-term graph need go up things. And maybe it'll work. Then you get a couple quarters where graph go up, but then you're losing in the long game every time. Simply because you start assuming these short-term toxic practices work and you can't afford a failure because failure is completely out of the question. Then you just get stuck in this treadmill of graph go up only. Where when you look at Valve, they're like, what graph? No graph C, only for you. No graph C, only make good for you. And now Valve has ended up in like a reverse position of most public traded companies in that they can do whatever they want. They can afford it. They don't have to tell anyone what's happening. They can even afford a mega decades of failures if they wanted to. They can sit and stew and research and just live off the fact that the Steam store itself is funding everything that they need. And within all that, they will always win. They're always thinking of the long game. And as long as Gabe or whoever replaces him takes the same principles as him in keeping this flow going, they will continue to win because they are laser focused in being consumer friendly as a priority first. You see other companies try too, but they send the wrong message. Like take Epic Games, they do their store. Most of their messaging was about the cut to the developer, just in a weird way to like manipulate you into going to their store because you want to support the people who make the game, right? But I think there is a level of selfishness that is allowed for consumers, because you're asking them for money. And if I'm paying money and the service I'm getting isn't good, or it's missing features that I expect, and at the end of the day, I still pay the same amount of money, then you're losing the user. Because unfortunately, and that's someone in the industry, me, that's saying this, the consumer doesn't have to care about developer problems. Literally, the only thing the consumer needs to worry about is the end product. So when you try to play this game of morality with the user, like even that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. They're like, it makes me think, why is this my responsibility? Because the truth is, most people aren't engaged in that kind of conversation anyway. They will reach out and do whatever is convenient for them. Even outside of what people might say online, most people will act in their own self-best interest. So to then try to flip that script, well, if you buy from us here, that means it's better for them, and that means there makes more games, an assumption. You get stuck in this bad loop, and then when it doesn't work out, you go, oh, I guess you don't care. No, it's that I don't have to care, and I'm okay with that. And don't get me wrong, monopolies are not great. This is just a good monopoly for now, because again, they're for the user, which means as the monopoly, they have some responsibility, and they're using it very well. Valve is usually the first company with their domination to implement policies that make it so users are not exploited. And then they're just able to stand there and basically go, hey, you guys aren't competing. So if you want access to these users who are here willingly on their own, you have to play ball with them and us. We're gonna protect them so they're not dealing with your bullshit. So there's still plenty of money to be made here. And Steam as a service, even for publishers, even for any developer, it's huge. They're insanely helpful and they provide a lot for the cut that they're asking for. It's not like they ship the store and they stay stagnant. They continuously invest and develop in a way that is so overwhelming. When you go to another store, you buy a game from somewhere else, it just doesn't live up to it. Where are my community forum? Where are my achievements? Where are my cloud saves? Where are my different servers to download the game from? My desktop modes, my sales, my family share, my recorded playtime, my badges, my profiles, my levels. It just becomes staggering when you start piling up everything together that Steam does. It is essentially a software console for the PC. And it's the thing that makes all of this easy to do. I remember a time where a lot of games weren't on Steam and you had to, each game had their individual installers and you had to manage a bunch of stuff that was unwieldy. And Valve kind of saw a need to make a store to really simplify everything together. And it was awful when it first came out, and they slowly were able to build on it over a very, very long period of time. I think since Half-Life 2. And now here we are, leaving them as a behemoth of a game company with all the money in the world that's privately owned. So they only make choices that are good for the user, the consumer, and you are the priority because that's what makes them the most money. And in the end, that will always mean that Valve will win, Steam will always win. And until another company can come and match up to that, this is as good as it gets. And I'm willing to bet that this product only gets better and never gets worse because they don't need to graph go up. In fact, you don't even get to see their graph or put money into it. They're fine. They're good. They can afford their own mistakes. They can own their own failures, and they're just going to keep being what they've been this whole time. That's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm a small time creator and it really, really helps a lot. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.